wish you'd understand. I just wish that God had a better plan. I'm so confused. I need a redo. Inside of me that's begging and begging and pleading. I just wanna feel free. I just wanna feel lovely. I'm surrounded by love that's in pain. Can I wipe your tears away? Please don't hurt for me. I hate that it's for me. It's for me.
Hi, welcome to the MS Michigan Man 64 podcast. Thank you to Amber K for that amazing introduction into the show. Amber K is warrior number 2. She is a singer-songwriter that wrote I Hate That It's For Me. Please check out her episode. Me and Amber have teamed up just to try to help people understand what it's like living with a chronic disease and how you have to keep on fighting the fight every day. My name is Brian. I am the MS Michigan Man 64. Before I got diagnosed 28 years ago, I was playing football at the University of Michigan, and I went from living that lifestyle to 4 years after that being diagnosed with MS, and I talk about my journey as well as the journey of other chronic disease warriors around the world just to try to help people understand what it's like, how it affects your mental health, how it affects your family, how it affects your career. Today, I am talking to an MSer that I met online, and he was diagnosed with his MS in 2017. The really, really cool part about this is that Matt was a former athlete like I was. I played football in college. Matt was a runner. He did Ironmans, and he got his diagnosis in 2017. He wanted to come on and talk about his journey with his MS. Please welcome to the podcast, Matt. How you doing today, Matt?
Brian, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on this show.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. So, Matt, in 2017, you got the diagnosis that you had multiple sclerosis. What kind of symptoms that you were having that led up to that diagnosis? Because I know you said that you were having issues probably 4 years before that. Just kind of take us through your journey on what was going on with you and what happened that they told you that you had MS.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in 2013 is when I first saw symptoms of multiple sclerosis. Didn't even know like it was a symptom at that time, but I was driving my car up the mountain because I was living in Denver at the time. And I was driving my car up the mountain to go skiing, and I went blind while I was driving. So it wasn't a black blind. It wasn't like complete blackness. I had a big blur that came over. Very, very fortunate. I knew where I was on that road, so I could get the car off the side of the road safely, but my whole entire family was in the car. And so, of course, at that time, I looked at my now ex-wife and I said, hey, I'm not going to be able to drive anymore. This happened. And so I was going through a lot of stress in my life, but it was the first incidence of multiple sclerosis in me. And I avoided it for 4 years. Never had another incident come up. I noticed I was a little bit shaky. I was going through moments, actually through this time, I was experiencing 25 to 30 stroke-like symptoms a day called TIAs, temporary ischemic attacks.
Yeah.
And so that one scared me. And that was due to I disrupted my gut microbiome so much with antibiotics due to an injury. And so once I went through that, I noticed that once I did heal from the strokes, it took about 4 months, strokes went away. And at that moment, I kind of noticed I was a little bit off, like things weren't clicking right. Like I was tired more often. I noticed I was more frustrated than normal. I noticed my mental health was not really where I wanted to be. And so I finally went into the doctor, and the doctor said, we need to get you into a neurology appointment. And it was at that time in 2017, the doctor diagnosed me with primary progressive multiple sclerosis and gave me 6 months before I would be in a wheelchair.
You know, I know we talked about that a little bit earlier Matt. And when you told me that that doctor told you you were going to be in a wheelchair, I was just blown away because I hear that so often that people are told by their doctor at their diagnosis that you're going to be in a wheelchair, or they're giving you a timeline of this is going to happen. I don't know why they do that. I think it's wrong. I would have been just pissed off if my doctor would have told me that, Brian, you're going to be in a wheelchair at 27. I'd have said, you're full of shit. And, you know, I just,
Right.
I can't believe a doctor told you that.
Yeah. But like you said, I got upset. I sat there and looked at it and said, this isn't true. This can't be. Okay, yeah, I see in the MRI scans that I've got 27 lesions in my brain and spine. And those are the ones you can count off of that MRI.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I sat there and I said, you know what? There's got to be a different way. Now, at this time, Brian, I am a CrossFit competitor. I'd left being an Ironman triathlete, an all-American triathlete at the half Ironman distance. And I started competing in that stupid sport called CrossFit, and still noticing shakiness. I wasn't where I wanted to be athletically. Wasn't achieving what I wanted to achieve. And so out of that frustration, but after the doctor said, you are diagnosed with primary progressive multiple sclerosis, then I said, you know what? There's got to be a way past this. And at that time too, and we had talked about this pre-show a little bit, is I didn't even know what MS stood for.
Right.
I didn't know what it was. No one in my family, I knew nobody with MS.
Yeah.
And so at that time, I first did the most terrible thing anybody can do is they look it up on Dr. Google.
Right.
And Dr. Google is going to tell you every bad thing with it.
Yep.
It's not going to tell you stories of hope. And so then when I finally told the doctor, I'm not going to take that DMT, it was only 27% effective. And 38% of the time it made the person worse. So it didn't make sense to me. So I needed to get to work.
Yeah.
I need to figure out what this, how we did this and how to get over it. And so then I started to look up stories of other individuals and met individuals like Dr. David Lyons, Matthew Embry, Tracy Hill, Janine Troutman, and all of these individuals, Goda Narath, like all of these individuals that had actually overcome multiple sclerosis. So I said, that's where I'm going. And my focus went to overcoming this dis-ease and no longer identifying to the dis-ease of MS. Now, it's really beautiful to say that in words, but it's putting it into action, into everything that you're doing and being fully from within. Every word you say, every thought you say. Just like this, when you were an athlete, you were playing football for the University of Michigan. I don't believe at any moment you had doubt that you couldn't play football.
No, never. I mean, from the day that we walked on campus there, our coaches drilled into our heads where we were, who we were, and how we needed to act and how we needed to carry ourselves. And they put that mentality into us that no matter who we were going to go up against on Saturday, we were going to win the game, and we were going to prepare like we were going to win the game. Did we always win every game? No. But we prepared like we were going to win every game, and we believed it.
So why wouldn't we do that for dis-ease? We sit there, we look at the doctors, and the doctors tell us it's going to go this way. You're going to be in a wheelchair. This is going to go down. We believe them. And then at some point, our minds begin proving that the doctor's right. And then the body follows suit with that. But with all of this and all this research I've done, as we were talking about, I've read well over 200 books in regards to this and have studied this so much in regards to all of it. It started to come into, there were moments way back in history, over 2,500 years ago. For example, Buddha had said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. And then it was reinforced from Hippocrates to all of these things that are coming in, the power of the mind over the body. The body is just following. The body is like an instrument. But if I don't tune that instrument, it's never going to sound right.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something off. So this is your opportunity to get to work. and tune your instrument deeply within you to resonate at a level of what you wish to see
Mm-hmm.
with no expectations. You're sitting there at that point, removing any resistance out of your body. We are not trying to fight the disease. That's why MS warriors, I have a hard time with calling anybody an MS warrior, because anything you fight, that means you have to fight against something.
Okay.
But if we start walking down this road of changing our thoughts and our mentalities and our ways of being when it comes to multiple sclerosis or any other disease for that matter, we can actually start overcoming it. And I'm not saying at this point that this will heal you, but it'll heal something much deeper within you. It's going to heal a belief within you, like you have experienced in your life as being an athlete. You had that belief that I'm a Michigan football player.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I do. These are the habits that I have. And so what happens very beautifully with this, for anybody that's overcome this dis-ease, they first started with their mind. They started to believe that they could.
Mm-hmm.
And that started to come into the habits that their body had, so that they were taking steps towards exercise, mindset, meditation, like doing all of those things to begin repairing the body. And so now underneath that moment, if I have the possibility of repairing my body and it's all done with the start of my thought, then what am I thinking right now?
Yeah.
If what I'm thinking is this positive, if I had a coach that was with me, would the coach be high-fiving me right now or talking to me right now about how I can rise above this?
I know when I
no longer have it affect me. Yeah.
I know back when I was playing for Bo and Gary Moeller in the 80s and 90s, they asked the question to us all the time at the end of every practice: did you get better or did you get worse today? You never stay the same.
Right.
We didn't answer it out loud, but they always asked that question, because they always wanted us to strive to get better. Did you take a step forward or did you take a step back? And, and they used meditation a lot. And I know we talked about this a lot. We talked about this a little bit before we started recording. When I first started getting into the mind and how important the mind is just with preparation to playing a football game, they would always tell us, you got to visualize beating the team that we're playing on Saturday. You got to visualize making that block, making that catch, making that run, making that pass. And they would always put into our head, if you think you're gonna win the game, if you think you're gonna do well on a play, it's gonna happen. You just got to believe it,
right?
Keep on, working towards your vision.
Right. And what you said very beautifully, Brian, is the coach asked you, did you get better or did you get worse today? How was it? Not with judgment, but just said, observe what you're thinking in this moment. If it's worse, that's a gift. You know where you need to work now. You know what can actually help improve that in that moment. So then if you got better, that's great. Now, after racing over 100 triathlons within my life, I never got better at any race I won. I only got better at the ones I lost, because that had me thinking a different way. Yeah. That had me going to that moment. So now that we're diagnosed with a dis-ease within our body, if we're having a bad day today, have a bad day. It doesn't mean we push away from it. It just means it's pointing us in a direction to actually go to what we ultimately desire, which is live an incredible life after being diagnosed with a dis-ease.
Amen. And
some of the happiest,
yeah.
So some of the happiest people I've met are ones in a wheelchair, but they don't allow themselves to be affected by the wheelchair.
Right. And, I tell people all the time when I meet people, like I do a lot of stuff on TikTok. That's where I meet a lot of people that I record with. And when I meet people that are new in this disease, and I just keep on telling them, the physical part sucks with this disease. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. I've been doing this 28 years. But the mental part is the hard part, and make sure that's the part you address early, as early as you can. I always say that it should be addressed immediately when you're told you have MS. That doctor that diagnoses you, they should tell 100%. You, go make sure you take care of your mind, because that's going to be the battle. The battle is going to be the mind. It's
Right.
not going to be your body.
Right. The battle is from within. Because if you tell yourself I'm going to be in a wheelchair, this is going to be terrible, my life is going to over, blah, blah, your wish is my command. You will start looking for instances that reflect that. So now, when you really take a look at this from a biological level, this is actually happening biologically within your body. Read anything from Dr. Joe Dispenza. How can Dr. Joe Dispenza have his lower spine crushed riding his bicycle? He was hit by a car, and he comes back and repairs his entire spine within months. How is that possible? Every doctor said that's impossible.
Yeah.
The time he's a doctor in himself. But he started to repair it with his mind and actually repaired his spine back to perfection.
Yeah.
Back to the state of being healthy again.
Yeah.
And so with all of that, was Dr. Joe's mind right at that space? Did he take a look at every thought that he had, not resisting the bad ones, but accepting them for what they were and allowing them to move through him? One thing that we can see at this point right now at a biological level is that everything within our body is made of atoms. Everything actually around us is made of atoms. So said differently, everything is made of atoms. And so what is the atom made of? It's 99.999999999% energy, leaving only 0.0001% matter.
Mm-hmm.
So if energy comes from every thought, feeling, and experience that we have, wouldn't it behoove us all to get our minds right?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
So then as it comes into the body reflects what the mind believes. But we have to remember, 95% of your thoughts are happening subconsciously. You are not aware of the thoughts that you are actually thinking. Only 5% of your thoughts are conscious. So I love when I speak to a big group, I always start by asking them a question. And I have this big room of over 1,000 people. And I said, everybody who wishes to live the rest of their day-to-day in fear, raise your hand. No one has raised their hands.
Right.
And I say, okay, everybody that wishes to live the rest of their life, the rest of their day in love, raise your hand. Every hand shoots up fast.
Right.
But 95% of the time, you will choose fear. The one thing that you said you didn't want. And it happens subconsciously.
Yeah.
And it's just as an observer with no judgment, just seeing it for what it is, saying, okay, what am I thinking about right now? Do I think it's possible? I'm listening to this guy off this podcast who says that my mind is everything. What I think I become. Do I believe it? And if you don't, that's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
There is no judgment in everything. Then what I want to invite you to do is, if you do have a desire to overcome this, accept what is right now. Offer no resistance to it. Doesn't mean you're agreeing to it. You're just accepting it in this current moment in time right now. And that opens the door from within you to allow healing to happen. How do I know this? I've put it into practice myself.
Yeah.
So now it's 2026. I'm 9 years after I was diagnosed with primary progressive, almost 13 years after my first symptom, and I still walk. I still work out every day.
That's
I
awesome.
still ride my bicycle.
Awesome.
But is it because I think I can, or is it because I'm just a freak of nature? No, I don't think it has anything to do with my body. I think it has everything to do with my mind. If I think I can do it, I will do it. And I'll take the steps towards it. And so as we're walking this beautiful road, we always have a choice. Nobody tells me what to think when I wake up in the morning. I do.
Yeah.
I choose it. So essentially, I'm choosing the energy that is within my body.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. I think it's all about attitude. I know when I was diagnosed back when I was 27, I was in great shape. I just got done running that triathlon, and I was in a weight room 5 days a week. And I didn't know if I needed to shut down or whatever. I asked my doctor. He told me, no, Brian, keep on going. And, your
Mhm.
MS is going to let you know when you can't do something. And that was the attitude that I kind of took with my MS, is like, you know what? It's not,
Mhm.
it might slow me down from doing things, but I'm going to do whatever I was going to do. I was still,
Mhm.
I was in a bowling league at work. I did that for a few years. And while I had MS, I was able to still play golf. I did that for probably 10 years after, with my MS. I didn't let MS stop me. I never took that mentality. And I think that's a really big part of it when you first
Mhm.
get that diagnosis. Don't let it stop you. Yeah, you got it, but let's keep on rolling through life and live it the best that you can.
Absolutely, 100%. And I say you're a great athlete, Brian, but you're not special. And I say that in the most loving way as I can.
Right?
Is everybody has this possibility.
Absolutely.
I'm not special.
Right?
It's nothing like all of a sudden, I was given this, oh, you're gonna go through it. No, not at all.
Right?
But it comes into what I think in my mind comes to be within my body.
Hmm.
So it behooves us all to think about, what am I thinking about right now? What am I feeling? And thinking is one side, but actually to communicate to this energy is feeling. How do you feel about it? And that is really what's beautiful, is that's really the telltale sign,
Yeah.
because I can change how I feel about something. You can change how you feel about something. But first, let's become aware of how you feel about this dis-ease that you were diagnosed with.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Matt. I know that you actually wrote a book, and I haven't read it
I
yet.
did.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet, but could talk to me a little bit about the book. I think it's awesome. It's on Amazon, and I just want you to talk about that because I love everything that you have to say about just the mental part of
Thank you.
this disease, Matt.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, the book that I wrote is called Belief to Heal. And Belief to Heal is actually just a beautiful book about overcoming any limitation that you have within your body at this moment, right now. And it's about creating that belief. What I loved about Belief to Heal is every chapter ends with a practice that you can very easily begin adopting.
Hmm.
And so this book will actually be a state and a start to your healing journey. And so that's when I wrote that, that was a very big aha moment. And as it was reviewed by many people, as doctors have reviewed it, they said, this is it. That's absolutely 100% right.
Hmm.
So it really comes down to whether I think I can or think I can't. I was right. So then under that moment, I'm encouraging individuals and giving them the tools to actually begin thinking that they will. And so that allows them to take another step. It's almost like giving somebody permission to go start taking a step forward, not to defy the doctors, but to basically live your powerful life. As everything we've talked about is, if what I think I become, then this book actually leads you down the journey of thinking in the way that you wish to think.
I
And
love.
so that was a beautiful start. Yes.
Yeah, I love that, man. I get you because like I said before, I mean, the hardest part of this journey for me has always been the mental part, and if you can get your mind right, and the sooner you
Mhm.
do it, I just think you're going to have a better life living with the diagnosis.
Absolutely, 100%. And this is my larger mission within my life, is to basically start having doctors, after they diagnose you, they're not handing you these are the drugs to take, but they're handing you a list of individuals to speak to,
Hmm.
like from a therapist to a coach to a Reiki practitioner to other things that could actually help your body.
Yeah,
Doing qigong and doing these types of things. They're all things that support you both mentally and physically.
even
But
changing
it
the
all begins with your
even
mind. Yeah.
even changing the diet, Matt. I mean, I know people
Well,
that they don't want to do the DMT, and they just tweak their diet and take gluten out, or
mhm,
make changes, and their body,
right.
it changes. I mean,
It does.
you gotta customize your journey, on
Well,
what makes you feel the best you. It might be the DMT
sure.
route, it might be the non-DMT
Right.
route, but you gotta customize it your way.
Your way. And you hit it right on it. Your way. But believe in your way. Believe in your way more than I believe in your way.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I believe about your way.
Mhm.
It's your way. It's not my way. It's your way. So then after that moment right there, we go, oh, I'm going to choose this path. This is where I'm going. And I believe so strongly in this new diet that I've started that I'm willing to go all in into that. So that means being aware of every thought you have every time. Let's say you hate Brussels sprouts, but you found that, Brussels sprouts are really good anti-inflammatory and I feel really good after I eat them. Then wouldn't that change your thought about Brussels sprouts?
It would change mine, yeah.
Yeah, then you'd be thinking differently. You're like, I'm going to I'm going towards Brussels sprouts because I know it works.
Right? You learn to like them, right?
So, right. And then you make them a different way and you do all these things because that is essentially what is healing your body.
Yeah.
You're not going to allow anything that doesn't match that to enter into your body.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the summit and all the stuff that you do with that, because I think that is badass too. I actually got invited just the other day to go down to a summit in Louisville, Kentucky in May, and
Mhm.
I'm really excited about that. But I know that you have your own that you organize out there, and talk a little bit about that, Matt.
I do. That started 5 years ago. So as I was walking this journey and as I was writing my book, I started to think in my mind, all these people that I researched, how can I bring all these people together to help others that have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis? So I created the first annual symptom-free MS summit 5 years ago. I had over 24 doctors and other healers inside that room, and they would speak for 30 to 40 minutes talking about things that they could actually do. And then they gave a gift to the individual to take a small step forward. So that was my goal with doing that. So then I kept producing the summit. And so now this year will be the 5th year of the Symptom Free MS Summit. But the amount of people that I have met as a result of that has been profound. So, for example, I met my current business partner, Dr. David Lyons, who was running a company called Optimal Body. Now, Dr. David has been nationally recognized. He's a National Fitness Hall of Fame winner. He is an ex-bodybuilder. David knows, name the person in the bodybuilding community from Arnold Schwarzenegger to Lou Ferrigno to all of these beautiful, he knows them all. And so as he started and he was diagnosed with relapse remitting multiple sclerosis 15 years ago. And so at that point, he actually went after bodybuilding to overcome multiple sclerosis. And he realized that doesn't work.
Hmm.
It was actually making him worse because of the intensity it takes to actually become a bodybuilder.
Right.
So he started to build training programs that actually help your body neurologically by increasing the brain-derived neurotropic factor, BDNF, within your body, and also acetylcholine, something that every professional athlete knows. And he started to work with his individuals to do this. So he was telling me stories of individuals stepping out of wheelchairs. Now, with the mindset work that I do, I was sharing stories of where people stepped out of wheelchairs. And then finally, it dawned on us a year ago, why don't we do this together? Body and mind. And so we created Optimal Body, Optimal Mind. And it's an actually amazing program. We launched it last year and it went gangbusters. We had all these individuals that were very interested. So we're coaching people from around the world to actually begin improving their bodies, both body, mind, and spirit from within them. And so as we did that, we know that that program and what we're doing from direct experience works. So we've got like the University of Illinois that wants to do something with us. We've got a university out of Australia that wants to do something with us, because it's the science behind actually how to improve your body. Now, exercise is extremely important, but the right exercises.
Right.
If we're just doing, like doing the training that you did when you were a football
Right.
at Michigan,
Right.
no, that wouldn't work today.
Absolutely not. No.
No, it would inflame the body neurologically, and you'd actually potentially get worse
Right.
as a result. I stopped running triathlon because of the intensity of running triathlon.
Right.
So now I do things that are balanced within my body. Like I said earlier, I still ride my bike.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not doing these intense long workouts, but I'm finding so much joy
Yep.
in riding that bicycle. I'm finding so much joy in doing these workouts and lifting weights and going at it in a very beautiful way. Every morning I wake up at 6 a.m. I sleep better.
Yeah.
My body is improving. My walking, it continues to surprise me every day when I go to stand up.
Yeah.
Something the doctor said would never happen.
Yeah. And back when, early in my disease, when I was 27, I was just diagnosed, and I was just coming off those running that triathlon, and I couldn't run anymore, but I still wanted that like that action, that leg movement. So I'm like, I got on an elliptical, and I started using an elliptical. I do 30 minutes on an elliptical, and it was like I was running. It was like I was running, a couple miles, because I had those handlebars to hold on to. And I did that for years. You just got to figure out, even if it takes something away, you can figure out how to still do it. You just have to do it different.
Right. Now, when you're on that elliptical, what do you feel?
Power, like I'm in control. I'm in control. And I feel
That's
like I
right.
feel my body getting stronger too. I feel fatigued, but I think that when I was doing that elliptical, I was fatiguing my body so that it didn't get fatigued from the MS. I was pushing my body. I was controlling my fatigue. So, fast forward 25 years, and I'm not in a gym like I was before, but I don't feel that fatigue that a lot of people complain about with this disease. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was in the gym and I fatigued myself with the MS. I don't know. I don't know the answers. I'm not a doctor, but the way that I did it, it helped me, I think.
It worked for you. Isn't that amazing?
Right?
How you could take that moment and begin conditioning your body, but you were listening to your body too, because your body is always talking to you.
Right?
It's always going to sit there in that moment and talk to you any specific way. And it'll tell you, go keep doing this, or it'll tell you, hey, we need to knock that off. That's not going to work anymore.
Yeah. So
And that's okay.
Do you have a website for your coaching, or with Dr. Lyons? Is there any, like, if anybody wants to check you out, go ahead, because I'll put that in the description if anybody wants to check you out, Matt.
Absolutely. My personal website is identityofhealth.com. So www.identityofhealth.com. And what I do with Dr. David Lyons is at optimal-body-optimalmind.com. And so we are going to lead people. So if people want to coach with me individually one-to-one, then you would just go to identityofhealth.com. If you're looking at, I want to do an exercise program that actually will improve my body, then go to Optimal Body, optimal-optimalmind.com.
Love it. I love it, Matt. I'm going to have you on, repeatedly, because I love everything you're about. I just met you the other day. I just think that you have so much good things to say about how you have to attack this disease. Whether you do it the DMT route or you go without the DMT route, the most important part of this is the mind, and you gotta figure that out as quick as you can.
Right. Believe in it.
Yeah.
Fully believe in it. Any route you take, deep down, ask yourself, do I believe this? Do I know it? Because there's a difference between believing and knowing, Brian.
Yep.
Are you breathing right now?
Yep.
It's kind of a dumb question, isn't it?
Right.
But there are people that can't.
Yep. I know.
Like, take a look at COPD.
Right.
You believe, without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to take a breath.
Right.
There's no doubt in your mind. So allow your belief to move into knowing.
I love it.
Know that you will. Know that DMT you're taking is going to work. Know that the food that you are eating is going to help. Know that the exercises that you are doing is going to improve my body.
Yeah.
And you'll take that step with the energy of that knowing deeply within you. Now, at this moment, if you're like, I don't know if I truly know this or all that kind of stuff, and doubts come in, that's beautiful. Allow the doubt to be the teacher. This is my second book that I'm writing right now. It's called The Teacher. Allow that doubt to be the teacher within you, to begin doing the work that you wish to do.
Yeah.
But then ask this question, who do I want to be? What do I desire? What do I wish to see? For example, when you played football, you desired to go to the Rose Bowl.
Right.
You were thinking about it.
Yep.
There were no doubts that came in your mind. You had a team that was supporting you. You're like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, that was our number one team goal every year. Win the Rose Bowl, win the Big Ten, win every year. That was what we did, and that's what we did all 4 of my years. We won 4 Big Ten championships, 3 Rose Bowls, 1 Gator Bowl. So, and
you did it.
Yeah, I did it. And MS is never going to be able to take that away. And I tell people all the time,
right.
You're going to do so many awesome things even after diagnosis. You just got to figure it out. And I love everything. Yeah. I love everything that you have to say, Matt. And like I said, I'm going to have you on again. And I appreciate everything.
I'd love to be here. Brian, this has been such a pleasure. And I want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you, Matt. All right. I will put all of Matt's information in the podcast description if you want to connect with him. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on TikTok, MS Michigan Man 64. You can also find me on Instagram, MS Michigan Man 64, and I'm on Facebook, Brian Wallace out of Brunswick, Ohio. Share it out. Hit the subscribe button. We want to be understood. The best way to be understood is to listen to us talk. Till the next episode, this is the MS Michigan Man 64. I am out.